What's up?
Hey, boys.
How goes it?
Good. Yeah, if one of the other guys shows up, I'm gonna duck out. We had this giant storm last night, and it knocked out a bunch of tree limbs, and part of the town's even without power. So if I could not be here, that would be great. But
Shit. Crazy. Once you knock out power, that's it. The whole system's down.
mhm.
I remember one time they had to shut off the whole city for the water system in Hawaii. I was like, you kidding me? Because they didn't really want to fix the water lines. Stupid. All right, I'm gonna mute myself. Have a good time. Listen.
Sounds good. Are you ready, Lanza, or what are you thinking?
Give me a second. I'm ready. Let's do it.
You ready? Okay. I guess we'll start this thing. Hopefully, the other two guys show up. And I'm assuming Signal will be able to unmute himself when the time comes. So we don't, man, we got to figure something out with this flip side going away for some financials.
I already did.
It'd be,
I got you covered.
oh, sweet. Boom. What do we got?
So I created a treasury tracker, and it basically, I go to the wallet on SoulScan. The DAO Treasury Help page identifies which are the wallets down here at the bottom. And so I went to the SoulScan of DAO Treasury, looked at the portfolio, and I just copy pasted the Atlas and USDC amounts, and then I pasted that as a table under the treasury tracker, and then did the same thing for the ecosystem fund. Go to the portfolio, it only has Atlas in it, so it's just one, and this is what it looks like. We have 1.4 million in the treasury wallet, and we have about 220,000 in the ecosystem wallet.
Sweet. Can we do that with the Iris Bounty one too? Is that easy to do?
I don't know. I don't have the Iris Bounty wallet.
It's that multi-sig that I put in the council chambers and in the kitchen that I needed signatures on.
Okay, I don't recall
But
that.
we don't have
I'll go
to
back and
do
look
it
at
right
it.
now. Yeah, it's in the kitchen. I
Okay.
paid out 2 of the Iris Bounty ones, and I was needing signatures from
You need signatures as in
some
you
people.
need us to go in? Me to go in?
Yeah, I need 3 signatures. I signed, Bodie signed, and then
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I've never done that before, but I'll go in and do it.
yeah, it's in the kitchen.
Okay.
It's
All right,
pretty
take a
easy.
look.
It's very handy. But yeah, you can find the
Anyways,
wallet in there. That'd be cool to add it.
in
But
our
cool.
council chambers, I put the instructions for how to do this. It's really just a copy paste. That way, if I'm not
Sweet.
here, anybody can copy paste it, and then you don't have to really mess with anything. Very simple to maintain. I updated the
Awesome.
pip tracker with the latest and greatest, pip 18, and it has all the metrics, like how many people voted, the pip partition rate, PvP voted out of total PvP. I don't understand that total PvP number. Signal or Emperor, do you understand what that 548 million is?
I don't personally, and I'm driving, so I can't even look at anything.
Okay. Yeah, on our pips, it shows the how many votes were casted out of a total number of PvP, and for the longest time it's been 541 million. But then recently it went up to 548 million, and I was wondering what is that number based on?
That's a good question.
It makes me think that it's not based on total supply, unless the supply went up by 7 million somehow. So I
Yeah.
don't know. But in any case,
Huh.
I've got a little tracker here that just tracks what pip did what, when was it passed, and then the drafts, the ones that are drafts. So yeah. And then the pip accounting spreadsheet. Carlos isn't here to speak for that one, so we'll just move past it. Accomplishments.
Neat.
I created the pip markdown and the PDF for the for Steven's funding independent economic research thing, and it's just awaiting y'all's peer review. I put it in the forums.
Perfect.
And then I completed the revamp of the treasury slide, which I already showed you. Emperor, do you have anything?
Yeah, the 2 Iris Bounty meetups that happened, I've been in contact with those folks. I don't know if Signal posted on our X account or not about those, but I did communicate with them, and we have the transaction sitting there ready to pay both of those out. They were both over the $500. One was in euros, so I had to convert it. It was like 420 or 480 euros, which ended up being, over $500. So
Are those the ones you're talking about need signature?
correct. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
and it's kind
payments
of,
to
since we're
bounty events. Okay, so we received. Hold on. Okay, 2 Iris bounty events hosted.
correct.
Documentation approved. Awaiting
Mhm.
payment. Waiting payment. Pending multi-sig of one other. Okay, there we go. I'm gonna put that in red so that we know that for next time. Cool.
Perfect.
And when did that happen?
I think it was a day and a half ago. Yeah, we'll just go with a day and a half ago.
Never mind, I see it.
can't look
August
up.
7th. Okay.
There you go.
All right.
Cool. That's
Signal, you got anything?
my accomplishments. He left. It's
He
just
left.
you and me and Shadow King.
Just you and I. Okay.
Yep.
Just the two of us.
I'm not sure what the other guys did. I know.
Yeah.
Oh, Bodie did something. It was in the kitchen. Let me. I'm trying to
Brody
drive
did
it. So that's not
something.
really the kitchen. It was in the kitchen. So write-in systems has been processed. So the not the council, the foundation received some receipts, and we got the receipts, and those were posted in the back end. And then, yeah, Swags said the write-in systems has been processed.
So what does that mean, processed?
Yeah.
The payment.
Like we made the payment?
Yeah, that's what it's. I can't. That's my understanding without being able to look at it properly.
Okay.
And you're back, Signal, you said?
I'm back, baby.
You're back. You have any updates for accomplishments for the week from your end?
He created that dope SA lore factory.
Yeah. That's like the big thing at the moment. Like, and granted, like that's kind of like DAO and governance adjacent and related, but maybe not as directly. That it definitely spun out of this whole like $600,000 to like write books and episodes and everything like that discussion. And part of me, my curiosity got the better of me. I'm like, I really, really think if I just put crazy hours into like, I can catalog the lore, I can put this all together. Like, I know that AI could do some really crazy things. Like, um, definitely the Star Atlas, the lore master, is freaking awesome. I love the RPG game mode. So if you haven't checked that out, it's pretty crazy. Feels like living in the universe and like interacting with people and flying around your ship. But yeah, and now working on the Star Atlas Lore Factory, which is essentially just expanding from that into how can we use all the lore that we currently have and the power of AI as it evolves to essentially, like, why can't Star Atlas just spin up novels with like current technology, and why can't we make our own like episodes and lore casts and all kinds of things like that? And yeah, I've literally just been going to sleep at like midnight or 1 a.m. every single night for like a week now. And yeah, I'm going a little crazy, but I'm about 40 hours in maybe at this point to like development and work. And it's looking really, really promising. And I think we're going to have our first IP, which is really exciting. And I think it's going to be really good and get a lot of people hooked. And it's definitely something, to put it this way, I really want to read, what this lore factory is going to produce with this title and project.
Gotcha.
Yeah, so you got inspired from the pip to do a thing. So it's not necessarily a council accomplishment, but that's really friggin'
No,
cool.
100%. It's like an individual community member thing that was just inspired by, what was going on in governance, in terms of like hot topics and debates. And um, yeah, part of the value analysis, right? Of people arguing back and forth whether or not all this stuff is worth 600K. Um, I figured like a really valuable part of that conversation would be like, well, fuck it. What can I build with just a bunch of personal man hours and cutting edge tools? And like, let's see how far that can go, and then
Yeah.
that serves as a pretty good benchmark of value, I would say, is we can look at that and go, oh, wow, this is really good. And you did it in how many hours? With what? Um, or, hey, man, this totally sucks. We clearly need to hire professional writers, to manage this stuff. I thought it would be a pretty cool way to learn technologies and processes and work on a fun new project, but also to kind of act as like a debate settler, and tiebreaker. Whatever this produces should kind of end the argument one way or another.
Well, I don't know if it'll end it, but it'll definitely cause some more conversation, which that's been really cool. I guess on that note, one of the accomplishments maybe it is or isn't an accomplishment, but this whole virtuals pip has absolutely been a topic generator conversation. There's so much engagement on this thing.
It's
I can't even,
crazy.
it's awesome. So I don't know if that's an accomplishment, but it's been really cool to see all the engagement.
If
Oh,
there was like a heat map of Star Atlas Discord, it would just be this one burning hot thread about this proposal, and then it just cools off in all the other areas around it.
so the accomplishment would be that it was moved, that the Infinite Startless IP pip was obtained the 25 thumbs up.
Yeah, it passed
Oh
the
yeah,
minimum
definitely.
threshold to move to drafts, even
Right.
though
It
it's
achieved like a
unactionable.
billion thumbs up, and then Brian got greedy and was like, let's get even more thumbs up. And then somehow a parade of thumbs down showed up. All hell
Yeah.
broke loose.
Yeah. So pip, the Infinite Star Atlas IP universe. Pip idea received 25 thumbs up. even though it's on a special track because of its price tag.
Right. It's kind of like infinite thumbs up on like make Dom eat a sock. Right now it's like,
Yeah.
well, clearly the community might want to see this. The thumbs down adds some debate to it, but clearly there's a bunch of people interested in seeing something like this.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of people with opposing views. I think that's maybe one of the first cases where I've really seen where thumbs down does seem valuable. Where it's like, okay, now that it's like 50-50, it's like 77 up and like 75 down, or maybe flip the other way, but it's enough to at least show a lot of people are paying attention and have opinions, and it is not at all clear cut, one way or another, which is better than just 25 thumbs up in this
Yeah.
instance.
Yeah, I think we start to see how this is actually being how it can be used. Just
Right.
kind of like it feels like an actual temperature check this time.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
100%.
Last thing is, as of today, maybe about half an hour ago, I finished the first draft of the Ecosystem Fund refresh pip.
Let's go.
Nice. On that note, do you want to discuss that today and go over it?
Sure, yeah.
I certainly want to. Sounds awesome.
Okay.
And by the way, I just want to thank you guys. I don't know. Maybe it seems crazy to say thank you, or maybe it's perfect, but just like my whole life has just been wild and crazy with moving and all these other things lately, and selling my house and going through all this shit. And I haven't been as present as I want to be. I have a lot more of my bandwidth back at this point, so that's going to change. But one, you guys, like, you did such an awesome job of just taking care of all this stuff and like holding down the fort and just being your awesome selves, like you always are. But two, like, you did all that and like you never once made me feel like a jerk, and for what I was going through and dealing with, and I really appreciate that.
Yeah, man.
So thank you.
We're a team.
Yeah,
We're a team, not just words.
exactly. 100%.
All right. So refresh of PIP 4 Ecosystem Fund. All right, I'm gonna share my screen. I just finished transferring it
Oh.
over. Yep. Did you say something?
No, I just said let's go.
Oh,
And
let's
Bodhi
go.
popped up.
All right.
Let's go.
Oh, Bodhi's here. Hey, Bodhi. All right, I've just
Bodhi's
finished
a two for
transferring it
Bodhi
over
now.
to
Too
the
tall.
DAO's. What am I trying to say? The DAO's Google Drive, or the council's Google Drive. I mean.
Hey guys, sorry I'm late.
What's up?
What's up?
All right. So here we are. Y'all see okay?
Yes.
Hey, just really quick, I just want to say there was one thing. I don't know if you guys already talked about everything we're going to be discussing, but the Comet Pip, just before we get into this, the Comet Pip sent us the receipts for us to review so that we can reimburse them. So I was thinking that might be a good thing to throw in today, is just looking over those receipts and making sure the amounts are within budget, and then that way I can send the total to Automata to reimburse them.
Are those, is it one of the two that you said, Emperor? That documentation's approved and is waiting our multi-sig?
I don't know. Since you're here, Bodhi, we in the kitchen, Swags put the write-in systems has been processed. Is that
Yep.
That's different than what you're talking about, right?
Yeah, this is for the Comet Pip, the ones that are doing that community meetup at that Gamescon, and then they got the additional funding for like the raffles and stuff. So they went ahead and
Okay.
bought all that stuff, and now they are sending us the receipt so that we can reimburse them. So we have those receipts. They already purchased it all, so we just got to look over the receipts. It should be pretty quick. I just didn't want to do it myself. Just to get multiple eyes on it, and then once we know the numbers right, then we send it to Automata, and they'll reimburse them that amount.
So I
Yeah, we could
suppose
do
we
that.
look
Just
at
whenever.
the Google Drive itself, right? The form.
I can send them in the council chamber chat, or I can put the receipts on the Google Drive. It's in PDF format, but I asked him if we can review it publicly, and he said yeah. So I was thinking that'd be good to do today.
They didn't submit it in the form, or they did.
No, I don't think that there's a standardized format for them to follow. It's not for the meetup pip like the
Not the
uh,
Iris
this is-
Bounty.
yeah, it's not the Irish Bounty.
Oh,
This is its
oh, okay,
own pip. Yeah.
got it.
So would you rather me, while we're discussing this other topic that I kind of interrupted, would you rather me send those PDFs to the drive or to the council chambers?
Put it in the drive. Let me give you the link.
Okay. I'll do
Shoot, which pip number was that?
I think 11, if I'm not mistaken.
You know what? I have a
kinda
pip
just-
tracker right here. It's the comment one.
Oh. Yeah, it looks like 18. I was way off.
Pip 18 is marketing and merch.
Yeah.
That one's called comment.
I think so. Yeah. Yeah,
And
that's
merch
the
expansion for
Yeah.
GamesCon. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I just created a folder in folder 2 pips, and I'll link it in the chat or council chat.
Okay. Yeah, I'll plug those PDFs in there. It's a couple different files
Okay.
for you to see. All right. I didn't mean to interrupt. I just wanted
No,
to
it's all
make
good.
sure that
It's all good. That's probably a good thing for us to get after. Probably won't take too
calibrate
long.
our timing too. Yeah. Okay. Cool. I'll plug that in while we're doing this other thing.
Cool. Okay, so like I said, I've been trying to put this together for a little while now. It refreshes the ecosystem fund pip 4, and basically it standardizes language. It creates a simplistic formula for the 5% rule, which I found out was actually very hard to calculate for reasons I'll get into. Adds clarity to our authority delegated to us by Automata, and then I just standardized some of the language, like grants and disbursement and approved, because they're all using different words. So I made it all the same. And I removed that big glaring contradicting statement. And I will include, I didn't do it this time around, didn't have time today, but I will include a link for a track changes version, meaning it'll show the old version and then all the crossing out and additions I made. There was a lot. I only intended for it to be like a couple paragraphs, but then as I was looking through this, I ended up changing a lot more. Okay. Section 1, that's the same. Categories is funding. The authors are us. Section 2 is a summary. This proposal continues the Star Atlas Ecosystem Fund, hereafter called the Ecosystem Fund, sees it with a budget of 20% of the Star Atlas DAO's treasury, which we're going to call the DAO treasury. And this proposal establishes a process by which community members may apply for funding. And then see Section 3, which is motivation, for more details. 2B, Automata gives the Star Atlas Council, hereafter called SAC, authority to manage the ecosystem fund, and see Section 5, which is going to be implementation details on particulars regarding that. And then this last part is the first one I inserted to make it more clear what we're doing. Per the Star Atlas DAO help page, if you go here, scroll down, you'll see they listed the actual accounts themselves. So per the Star Atlas DAO help page, the wallet for the DAO treasury is this one, and the wallet for the ecosystem fund is that one. section 4 is where we get into the funding rules and applying the 5% and all that. So that's the summary.
Okay.
All right, motivation starts off with subsection A and the goal. I didn't change a lot here, only a little bit. The success of the Star Atlas hasn't always been community driven. The primary goal of this proposal is to create a new path for the Star Atlas community to identify and award funding to those who build the new Star Atlas experience and products. That's the same verbatim from 4. Although the Star Atlas community and guilds have been extraordinarily active in this regard, from developer playing tools, creating merch, to hosting community meetups, this proposal is intended to generate even more excitement among community builders. Did not change that either. I did change this part. So the scope is the types of efforts that could be funded on this proposal include creating software tools to enhance player experiences, hosting community in-person or virtual meetups, supporting educational or informational initiatives to grow the Star Atlas community, building new creative works or materials such as video, art, music, based on Star Atlas intellectual property. These I did not change, those first 4. All I did was add scope. And then I moved this one here. Other types of efforts could be funded as well, as long as they relate to development or improvement of Star Atlas, and as long as the products or experiences open to all community members. This was in another section of the PIP, and it felt like it was actually part of the scope, so I moved it. I didn't really change anything in here. So all I did was add a couple words and move a paragraph to what should be in the scope. Terms. I didn't change this, except add a link. Provide using products using Star Atlas intellectual property must adhere to the Star Atlas terms of service. I just made a link to it, including the terms related to using Powered by the People logo. I added the end sub appendix C, which is where you can find that in the terms of service, and following the applicable royalty terms. Only thing I don't know is if I should use the word products. That was what the PIP 4 used versus saying PIPs using. Does anyone care?
Mm, I wonder why it says products,
Because Dan was a
it
lawyer
is.
and
Yeah.
so
I
we
would.
could say products and services. We could say ecosystem fund PIPs or
I think if he put products in there, he did it for a reason.
Yeah, I don't mind products as the verbiage.
okay. All right. Specification, section 4. This is where I made the most changes. Creation and initial funding. So what I did was the initial PIP kind of went into paragraph form, wording of seeding the DAO with funds and all that. So I organized it into creation and initial funding, continuous funding, funding rules, and the application process. Excuse me, that should be the funding proposal process. So I organized it into those 4 sections. Creation and initial funding. The following amounts from the DAO Treasury shall be allocated and to be used exclusively for the ecosystem funds. Sub bullet A is 20% of the Atlas, and sub bullet B is 20% of any USDC amount exceeding 500,000. Next part is if there is 500,000 USDC or less in the DAO Treasury wallet, no initial USDC will be allocated for the ecosystem fund. That's probably why I didn't see a USDC transfer from the DAO Treasury to the ecosystem fund, which I put in here later on, in case anyone can help me figure that one out. There is no corresponding Atlas limitation, meaning there will always be an Atlas transfer if it reaches that 20% thing. And then here I put as context, after PIP 4 passed on August 6th, the initial funding amount was 159 million Atlas, which at the time was 168,000. Wait a minute. Hold on. Check that. Oh, okay, my bad. I had the old value. 517,609.53. So the initial funding amount of 159 million Atlas, which was 517,000 on the day of the transfer, was allocated from the DAO Treasury wallet to the Ecosystem Fund wallet on October 4th, 2024, and I gave the transaction ID with a link to it. So everyone could see exactly where I pulled my numbers from. There's a 159, and if today it's worth 167,000, but if you click it, it'll give you the debt value on the day of the transfer was 517,000. So that right there establishes up front that it was already funded, that the initial funding was done. And I didn't see a USDC. So I think that means there was less than 500,000.
Yeah, we're still just under that number. We're at about 489, I believe.
Oh, I didn't Bodhi, I created a new treasury tracker which basically links to the SoulScan wallet, and I just copy paste the portfolio tab where you can see the atlas of all of them. So it's really easy to maintain, but yeah, I'm showing we have 482,000 USDC.
Oh yeah. Yeah, 481 is the last I checked, not
Oh,
49.
okay, gotcha. It's probably true because that was pulled like a few days ago. All right.
No, yeah, that's right. 482.
Okay. So then, if anyone disagrees with that, I'm going to delete this. Actually, no, this is going to stay. No initial USDC was allocated due to the DAO Treasury having less than 500,000 USDC at time of. Never mind.
Well, this is meant to be future proof, yeah. This pip.
Yes.
So okay.
So this is just a section of its creation and its initial funding. We're kind of looking back on the past.
Okay.
We're looking back
Gotcha.
on the past. I acknowledge that. I just wanted it to be clear why and how we got there.
Okay. Yeah, that's good.
Okay, continuous funding. That's all future. I started off with. Actually, before I move on, Signal Emperor. Anything to say on that?
I love it so far, man. Where's the part where all of this ties into the grants writing team and makes them in charge of all of it?
That will be in implementation details, and yeah, we'll get there.
for implementations of all of this, see SegWit.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's really good, man.
I did a strategic pause on the SegWit for now until we can, until I can finish. I'm running out of time every day. I don't have the bandwidth.
I get it. No, it's totally great so far, brother.
Yeah. I declared victory with Lordo's proposal, only taking him 15 minutes to write.
Yeah, it's awesome.
All right. Continuous funding. This is the future proof part, Bodhi. On a semi-annual basis, the ecosystem fund shall be replenished if 1. The amount of Atlas in the ecosystem fund is less than 20% of the total Atlas in the DAO treasury. If this occurs, an amount will be sent from the DAO treasury to make the ecosystem fund total 20% of the Atlas in the DAO treasury. 2. The USDC amount in the DAO treasury exceeds 500,000. If this occurs, 20% of the amount above 500,000 USDC shall be sent to the ecosystem fund. If the DAO treasury does not have the amount needed in its wallet, no USDC will be sent. I'm going to change that to 500,000 USDC. I think that'll make it more clear. Okay. And then last thing is, instead of calculating 6 months from, what was it, October 4th, I just made it a static day each year. January 31st, so that people can, get over their hangovers from January 1st, and then July 31st. So it's just 6 months apart. And it was quarterly. I changed it to semi-annual because it definitely has not been funded quarterly, and semi-annual seems more manageable for I don't know, it just seemed like it was better for Automata. What do y'all think?
I think, what did Swag say when he did the top up? I can't remember in that meeting. I think he was fine
I
doing it
don't
quarterly,
recall
wasn't he?
either.
You, Bodie, do you remember?
Yeah, I think the discussion was around a quarterly, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think he was fine with it.
Okay.
I would prefer it quarterly, personally.
I'm gonna look back and see if maybe we had it in writing.
Well, it began as quarterly on PIP 4. I changed it to semi-annual because it just hasn't been happening that way. All right, that means I'll change these to static dates of the end of each quarter.
Yeah, and while we're on that, maybe we could put it in the Google calendar so it reminds everybody.
Oh, that's a good idea.
I would just add the word like approximately. That way we're not beholden to the specific date. Just like give a little bit of margin for automata to get to it.
Okay. The semi-annual date shall be on or about, and then it'll
Yeah,
be
yeah, approximately or whatever. Yeah, something like that.
yeah.
Or quarterly. Are we going with semi-annual or quarterly? I would say
I
quarterly.
think we decided quarterly.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to look back and see if we talked about it in writing, but
That's all right. We can. I mean, it doesn't matter to me. It's just more work on Automata's part. All right. So that'll be change 1. All right. Now the funding rules. First of all, does that make sense to everybody? The continuous funding part.
Yeah.
Okay. Funding rules. Payments from the ecosystem fund shall only be made through the proposal process described in this PIP. No PIP may exceed 9 million Atlas or 10,000 USDC, which is approximately 5.6% of the initial 1.5 million, 159 million Atlas, rounded to the nearest whole number. So when I tried to do the 5% calculation, Bodhi, I was going to ship the formula over to you. And then I thought, why are we doing that? If the
why are we
whole
doing
thing has been 10,000 USDC, that's not 5%. It's 5.6%. And
no,
even
the
then,
whole 10,000 USDC is a total misnomer because obviously we're dealing with Atlas is volatile. So framing in the temp, we just have to stop even using that verbiage. We just have to use the Atlas amount.
okay. Well,
Yeah.
don't we only
Yeah,
pay?
we should
Do we pay in
say
Atlas
again.
and USDC?
No, because we only have Atlas so far, the ecosystem fund.
Oh,
So
yeah. True. Okay.
yeah.
So I put 9
So
million Atlas. Okay, hold on. Let me recalculate then.
well, you would want. I think this is where you're getting into a future proofing issue where that 9 million is only applicable. Well, technically, that was for the last refresh. It was just under 9 million. Now it's over. It's over 10 million after the refresh. So I think we should just keep it at 5% as far as the way it's written here, because this is into the more future proofing part of the PIP. It should just say 5% of the amount at the time of the what do you call it, like a
The
restock or
initial.
refill.
Wait. All right. So that's probably where we need to do most of our discussion. Is it 5% of the initial funded amount or 5% of the current balance?
It's the initial. It's 5% at the time of the refill, which I think initial might imply like the very first
Yes.
fill, right? So it's I think to be accurate, it would be 5% of the total amount at the time of the refill.
All right. What does that mean? The refill.
So like when we just did the refill, like maybe a month and a half ago or so, we basically added some Atlas.
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
87
we
million.
added some
Put it
Atlas,
down here.
and there was still quite a like most of the Atlas from the initial fill was still there, so we added to it, and the 5% is that new sum. So once we get that refill, and that extra Atlas comes in, you look at the total amount that it has at that moment, right after the refill, and then that's where the 5% comes from, is from that amount.
So we were talking
So
about
yeah, if
under
you
the
go to-
portfolio, the token balance.
no, because that's the live balance. So if you go to transfer and then select the incoming, the green arrow down, just to the right, yeah, right there. And then you go to that transfer right there, the top left one, go to the signature. So click on the transaction. And then token balance change at the top. And then that gives you the balance after. So
Whoa, I didn't even know that.
yeah, so now you have that 224,094,330. No, that one is the DAO. That's the main treasury. The one below
Oh,
it,
this one. Holy
that's
smokes, this
so
is cool.
that's the resulting balance after the refill. That's what you want to base it on. Is that value right there?
Emperor, Signal, what say you? Agree?
I
I
defer
think the
to
only
Bodhi.
thing that's important to super nail down is however we define it, it needs to be a fixed USDC value once we define it. So like when there's a refresh, we value the treasury and where it's at for the ecosystem fund. We snapshot that, it's a USDC value, and then we make that our basis. I don't think it should just go up and down because Atlas is going up and down all over the place. And I don't think it should go down because someone else got something approved before you.
No, it doesn't go down. So the second point that you made about it going up or down based on, if somebody like right at the time of this refresh, when they added money from the main treasury to the ecosystem fund, it was 224 million and some change. If let's say a bunch of pips pass and that value goes down, that doesn't affect your 5%. The 5% is
Perfect.
based the 5% is based on the balance at the time of the refresh. It doesn't matter what the balance is right now.
That's all I wanted to lock in and clarify.
Yeah, so that part, that's why we're going to this specific transaction and looking at the balance after that refresh transaction. But I disagree with the first thing you said about it being valued in USDC because of how volatile it is, right? Like the price of Atlas from the first refresh, it went down 80%. So, at that time, if we kept it in USDC value, then we would be passing pips for $25,000 right now.
Does our
Well,
pip, I'm looking in the knowledge base, it doesn't say, do our pips require it to be costed in Atlas or USDC?
it's just
Costed in
5%.
Atlas.
Yeah, it's 5% of the value. 5%, not the USDC value. It's 5% of the token. So if we had $100,000 of the USDC in there, then you could use 5% of that. If we have 100 million Atlas, you can use 5% of that. But the Atlas part implies volatility, which Signal's basically saying that for simplicity's sake, or for I guess consistency, as far as like funding, right? Like if you need, it allows you to if you have a pip that's your costs are denominated in dollars, you can kind of rely on that dollar figure. But I think we should only do that from pip to pip. So for example, if a pip says, okay, right now the value of the Atlas is 5% of the Atlas is $10,000, so they can say, okay, I want $10,000. And then from there, if the value fluctuates, we should lock that in. But I don't think we should lock that in for the entire ecosystem fund, because then you're looking at 6 months worth of volatility, or the price changing. If the price of Atlas drops 50%, which in 6 months is very easy. Or if it goes up, you know, I mean, like 6 months is a long period of time to lock in that USDC value.
All right, I'm gonna mark this whole
Yeah, I
thing
just
red.
think it's
So
nice for planning purposes. Like if the ecosystem fund is worth, say, $200,000 at the time that we do the snapshot, and then we do our 5%. All I'm just saying, and I think we at least see the thing the same way. We just have different stances on it. I'm just saying, okay, so if it's 200,000 at the snapshot, and that's the value of the treasury, then we say no PIP can be worth more than $10,000 worth of Atlas, that upon approval. And that just makes it so if you base it only around Atlas quantity, then one person could get technically a PIP approved for $10,000 as a max, and then another person files for the max, and it can only be as high as 5K. You know, I
But
just
the Atlas would be
I
the
think
same.
that's hard to I think that's hard to plan around. That's all.
Well, that just means that the person who got the larger USDC amount, they didn't get any more Atlas. They didn't get, you know, they still
Well,
got
no,
5.
but they're trying to do real things in the real world. You know,
Right.
so it's
I
it's nice to have a number that's concrete that you can think about of like, okay, I'm trying to build something. I can request up to 10K of funding in Atlas, and that's my benchmark. And then we refresh a month from now, and, you know, or 6 months from now. It's a different benchmark. Like, okay, I can request up to 12K of Atlas, or I can request up to 8K of Atlas, and that's the new number. But it at least keeps a fixed number in people's heads so they don't have to constantly keep track of token volatility. And so their buying power protects both ways. It protects to the upside and the downside. If Atlas suddenly goes on a run and doubles, we're not approving proposals for 25,000 Atlas because, or $25,000 worth of Atlas because that's the new 5%. You know, you're still capped. Then, you know, at the level that's approved, you can still apply for $10,000 worth of Atlas. And if it goes down, then it's not like all of a sudden pips have to get radically less ambitious because they're like, well, shit, I can't do it anymore. You know, now my cap is $5,000 worth of Atlas. Like I can't do the same thing that I was trying to do anymore. I just think that concrete anchoring, um, it's good in both directions. It's good when Atlas super rallies because you're not just handing people just insane value sums of Atlas just because Atlas shot up. It's also good when Atlas is down so builders can keep planning appropriately and still do the same size and type of projects without being disrupted. That's just my 2 cents on it, but
well, there's
happy
I
for
think we
whatever the
put a
group
pin in this.
decides.
there's the
I think.
flip side of that coin too, right? Where
Oh,
if Atlas goes down, then you know you're basically you're basically reducing the amount of available Atlas in the treasury faster. And then
Right,
if
you're
Atlas,
going through Atlas faster than 5% of the Atlas per clip, but you're
yeah,
still
and
keeping the same fixed value.
right, but I'm saying that there's a flip side to that. So like that, you know, that's the flip side of each of those coins. And if Atlas goes up, now you are limiting, you know, like you could give more out of an abundance, right?
Which seems
Um,
healthy, you
I,
know.
I think that's silly because when it goes up, they can also be more ambitious. If the market is down, the pips should be less ambitious because
I
you know
agree.
the vol will be lower. So I don't know why we should make more rules on top of the rules we already have, unless the whole DAO disagreed with the rules we already have, which I don't think is the case.
Well, and
I
I
just
think
think it's nice for planning to have a fixed number in your head of what you can apply
Planning
for.
Atlas is a
Yeah.
DAO.
Yeah,
yeah, I
there's no
think
way to plan an Atlas. Planning an Atlas is, you know,
There is because we have been
yeah,
funding pips and pips keep coming in and they have been planned and they have been successful.
it's planning on a roulette wheel.
Yeah, it sucks to be a DAO, but otherwise you can go to a bank.
well, and
Yeah.
I think too it makes I think there's an argument too for
Touche.
simplicity. I think
Yeah,
that
simple.
just saying 5% of whatever tokens are there in terms of the amount of tokens, that's just like it's just a universal I think it's I guess it wouldn't I think it's just a little bit easier to I think that has an argument for simplicity's sake.
Most importantly, it's a voted and approved rule by the whole DAO.
And the other thing too is, I think an important thing to keep in mind too is when somebody makes a PIP and they get it passed, we've been pretty flexible as far as the price changes around the time of their PIP, right? So if they push through a PIP and they say, okay, let's say the 5% of Atlas is worth $10,000, and they push through that PIP, and then by the time they actually go to get approved and funded, the value of Atlas has dropped, and now technically that $10,000 is over 5%. We've still granted them that, right? And I think there's maybe some things we could do to really make that system
And
a
I
little
think
bit.
that's as flexible as we can be, because they already planned, it got approved, and now we're securing that they are going to be able to fulfill whatever they plan. But we cannot be flexible with things that may happen 5 months down the road.
I agree. Yeah,
All
we
right,
do
so
have that
wait,
flexibility.
put it. We need to put a pin in this so I can finish the rest of this.
Yeah, of course.
We all
I didn't
will
mean
come
to.
back to
I didn't mean to
this.
sidetrack.
No, it's all good. We need to talk about this. So I put a
And why are we talking
placeholder
about
here.
this? I'm sorry I'm late. I'm just really struggling right now with
Yeah,
the
yeah, don't worry
migraine.
about Carlos. It's okay. This
I
is not
can
going to be
tell,
the end of the
Jim.
conversation. So I put a pin in it and said needs more discussion. We can make that the topic of next week, where we all gather our thoughts, come in, and we'll just make it all about what should the funding rule be. All right, I'm going to keep going because I think the rest of this is going to be a lot less controversial. All right, and the funding rule, no PIP may
I
exceed
object.
12 months. Yeah. No PIP may exceed 12 months in duration, whether delivering a product or performing a service. That still is the same from PIP 4. Oh, Carlos, this is the refresh of PIP 4, what I've been working on.
Okay.
Yeah, a lot of the changes, I didn't make a lot of changes, some, but when we got to specification here about the funding and all that, that's where I reorganized stuff. And we just went over the biggest part that needs most discussion. All right. The last part in section 4, which is specifications, is the funding proposal process. To apply for funding, applicants, that's another word I need to standardize, shall create a PIP in accordance with the process specified in PIP 1. Additionally, proposals shall follow the guidelines in Star Atlas DAO knowledge base, which contains additional requirements for creating a proposal. That sounded the fairest to me to say, also go look at our knowledge base. Section 5, implementation details. Automata shall be responsible for the continuous funding of the ecosystem fund. The ecosystem fund shall be managed by Star Atlas Council. Proposals that apply to Section 3 shall be reviewed and stewarded by Star Atlas Council. Proposals that do not apply to Section 3 Section 3 shall coordinate with Star Atlas Council to obtain special approval from Automata. That was the clarity that I was talking about that need to be in here. And the last part is this was copy and pasted from the PIP itself still. The Star Atlas Foundation shall be responsible for tracking the remaining assets of the ecosystem fund, making payments when proposals are passed by the voting DAO, and providing quarterly updates regarding the payment of funds. I don't know what this is trying to say.
We basically do all that, and then Automata sends the money. Is how it actually works.
So what do you mean by tracking the remaining assets? Are you talking about the Atlas?
That's what I'm
They don't.
curious about. Did you copy this from the other one?
Yeah, the only thing I changed was I
What-
made it voting DAO instead of another more complex word.
I mean, to be
So the
honest,
Star Atlas Foundation. Huh.
this is not how it works in practice. So I don't know if we just want to go based on how it actually is.
I
How
would
it
prefer
actually is
that,
in
yeah.
practice is the council does all of that, and then the payments are actually made by Automata.
Okay, I'm
They're
gonna put a
the
sentence
ones
in
who
here.
sign.
Automata shall be responsible for making payments to PIPs past the ecosystem fund. There we go. And then I can delete this whole thing.
Is it Automata or the Foundation? I believe it's the Foundation, isn't it?
Automata makes
That
the payment.
I don't think they've signed a. I don't think that the foundation has signed a thing. I mean, I don't know. I send the request to Automata, and then it based on the way that it sounds.
I mean,
They're
Automata is making the calls in behalf of the Foundation because the Foundation doesn't really have anyone involved in the game side. But I believe this is all operative from the Foundation, which is the owner of the vault, isn't it?
Well, no,
No,
it's a
no, Automata
multi-sig, and
has the
the foundation has one of the signatures, but I think that the way that it's been going is that Automata has enough of the signatures within the multi-sig in their team to just do it on their own, so they just do it.
It's all handled by the automation.
So I put so what
Yeah.
the foundation company does do is they complete the KYC KYB, and they also approve. How do I say this? They approve the.
Drafts.
They make. Dang it! How do they?
I could be wrong, but isn't the Foundation the custodians of the vault?
No.
It's a partial. It's a multi-sig, so they have
Yeah,
one signature.
it's a multi-sig because some people from Automata are acting with the Foundation, but that would be a good acceleration to get from
Yeah. Okay.
from
I'll
them,
mark
in
it.
my opinion. I just always thought that Automata shouldn't be on any of those papers and should be the Foundation because Automata's role on it may change as the Foundation, as the DAO gets staffed, but I could be wrong on this.
Okay. I'll mark it for clarity in our next internal meeting.
Yeah, I could be completely wrong though. It's just I'm just saying what I understand of it.
Okay. All right, and then I have Startless Foundation Company shall be responsible for completing KYC KYB, and
They'd be responsible for contracts as well. Any sort of legally binding contract on a big PIP.
for authorizing any
yeah.
legally binding contracts. Yeah.
They would create it too. They would create those contracts as well.
Well, maybe
We don't. I don't know about
they'd
that
at
one.
least review it. They wouldn't necessarily yeah, that
I'm
would
gonna put
actually
authorize.
not happen.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
I just know they would be like this like they would oversee that whole process.
And they're the ones in the end that make sure that deems it. Yes, this is a passable PIP because it doesn't conflict with
Correct.
AML and all those other things.
Yeah. Yeah, they would
Well,
make
yeah,
sure.
as long as Automata gives the thumbs up, because in theory we are not allowed to do governance changes without that.
Okay, I'm gonna put an approving a PIP, a past PIP. There we go.
Yeah. Just because
PIP.
it's governance and it's outside the ecosystem fund.
Okay, good to go. And what else?
Well, no, they check it before we send it to a vote. So they would check. They would.
Oh, you're totally
approve
right.
PIP.
That's totally true.
No, but
Yeah.
I think in this case, for a government PIP, Automata would have to approve it before we put it to a draft. That's my understanding. Just like happens with the other PIP we have been talking about, just because it's outside of our, permissions. Again, we can also check if this is correct, but that's what I got when they told us that they allowed us to do PIP 10 last turn, but in theory we are not allowed to do it again.
All right.
Unless they give us a press approval.
Automata and Star Atlas Foundation Company shall be responsible for approving a PIP to proceed.
Yeah, pretty much.
Before proceeding to vote. There we go.
We're talking about PIPs outside the ecosystem fund, right?
No, these are PIPs within the
It's
ecosystem
also
fund.
within too.
Oh no, I'm talking shit. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's all good.
No, you were completely right. Automata doesn't. In theory, they're not involved. The foundation approves. Yeah, it has a final approval. That's about it.
In theory.
Yeah, highlight that Automata part on section D. We should make sure that they're also a part of that process. I know that Foundation checks it, but I don't even know if Automata does that.
Okay,
they do in the system we have in place right now.
All right, got it. We'll get clarity in an
Yeah,
internal.
they are part of that. With the Telegram and all the stuff.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Timeline. This PIP was originally passed as PIP 4 on August 6, 2024, and will continue in the form of this PIP. If passed, this PIP will implement immediately until modified or revoked. And I just use the word implement because we use the word implementation everywhere else. Otherwise, I'd put execute or whatever. But I need to use the same language. And then the last section is cost. No immediate cost impact. As of the date of this PIP, the following transactions have been made. I list the October 4th transaction, which is the initial funding, and I list the July 3rd, which was that first continuous funding of 87 million Atlas. And this highlighted portion. This was from. Oh man, forgive me. Who did the PIP idea for this one? Was it Steven? Oh Lord, how did I forget his name?
For what?
Talking about
Um,
Agent Solus. Oh, the Dan.
no,
No,
someone
what are
did,
we talking about?
someone did a PIP idea for this, and dang it, Sly. I think it was Sly.
Wasn't it Agent Solus?
Yeah, the guy.
No.
No, for the guy from Slide. No, Agent Solas has never made a PIP. The guy from
Anthony.
Slide, I forgot his name.
Anthony.
He was talking about governance recently in the DAO chat.
Yeah. So, anyways, I'm so sorry. I was just reading all this earlier, and so this one caught my eye. Any costs related to the management of this PIP shall be included in the Star Atlas Foundation Company's budget.
Anthony.
Yeah, we'll find it. I got it in here somewhere.
Yeah, Anthony from Sly. Anthony is the
There
one
it is.
that.
Yeah,
But
it's
you know,
Anthony.
we also
Yeah.
told him that we were not allowed to put those governance changes yet.
Right. So I put in Anthony's PIP idea that I would review it and then take some things that I felt was helpful. This was one that could be. I don't think there are any costs related to the management of this PIP, except for all their actions of KYC, KYB, which are included in their budget. So I feel like this is still true.
I feel like it goes without saying though, right? That that's part of the foundation's PIP.
I don't disagree with that. Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I don't mind striking it if no one else cares.
Does it hurt to have it in there?
I don't think it
That's what she
hurts.
said.
Gosh darn it, Signal. Yeah, all right, I'll leave it in and then we'll see if there's a reason to take it out later. All right, so there we go. We've got two things we need to clarify with Automata and an internal, and then one thing we all need to hash out amongst ourselves next week. I will fix the quarterly updates to honor about those static dates of each quarter, and that was it. And by next time I should have a link that'll have track changes. So it'll show the old PIP 4, and then I'll just go through and manually track change everything you see in here. So that way you can see what was changed. And it's going to be a lot. And that's that.
Cool. Thanks, man.
I love it, man.
Cool.
Yep. So after
Super
this
glad
one, I'm
we've
going
got Lancer. I mean, this is super thorough.
Oh man, I feel so much better with this. It just, the contradiction sentence was removed. It clarifies what we have the authority to do in a way that's real. And I don't know. I'm excited for the refresh of PIP 1. I think that one's going to take me longer though.
It's the perfect combination of effective and innocuous at the same time. It's the perfect combination of like nobody should really have any strong case to argue against anything, that's written here. So it's not like oh, this changes everything, like in some negative political context. And yet at the same time, it significantly improves and lends clarity to a variety of processes. Bravo, Lancer.
And I think that's the intention, right, Lancer? To
Yes,
make what
that is the
we have
intention.
make sense and not contradict itself, but we are not trying to change or introduce changes that can be
Right.
has to deal with.
Right. There's no like, I didn't put new things in there. I just put things that help clarify the old stuff. And where there was a contradiction, we were the tiebreaker. We decided which way it was going to go. And then we'll let the DAO vote on it. And
Yeah,
yeah,
after we need to discuss with Automata, get feedback, tweak a
yeah,
few more things with the foundation. Again, this would be a great place to involve Glenn and Michael and make sure everyone is okay with it.
yeah. Sounds good. So we'll
E-
queue this up.
Even even before posting it in draft, I would do that. So when we post in draft, it's a little more closer to what it will be.
Yeah, I don't plan on
Yeah.
posting it in draft until we have the internal.
Because I think that the challenging part
ideas.
is that Dan Partica, who wrote all this, is not here. So poor Michael is left alone to deal with all this crap.
Right.
So
Hence the track changes version.
he would likely be
That's
happy to
why I
get
want the
a
track
lot of
changes
feedback from
version.
Glenn. Hmm?
I think the track changes version is going to help with that. It'll show what was deleted, what was added, so he can see. We didn't just go off the walls with it.
This is definitely something that needs to be done. So I hope it's an easy process because it will improve. It will get rid of contradictions and future misunderstandings.
Okay. So did any of you disagree? We're going to say, with the exception of the funding rules, which we'll talk about next week in depth. Do any of you disagree with the approach that I've taken?
No.
No,
Okay.
No.
how times
And
have
then,
changed.
Okay.
and then
Sax.
can
Yeah,
we?
I know, right? I know.
Yeah, not even Drum disagrees.
All right. Sac 2 will discuss
He's just got a headache, so
the
Oh,
funding
God.
I've got
rules
one too. It's going
section.
around today.
So it
I just want to throw a
was.
reminder out there. If we can just take a quick look at that receipt before we go.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and do that. Did you upload him?
Yeah, it's in that page you made.
All right. Cool.
and I gotta go, guys. I'm sorry.
Okay. See, Emperor.
That's all good.
Bye, guys.
Slacker.
Have a good one, brother.
Slacker, kiss my ass.
All right. I'm bringing it up.
I'm not watching screens, so you guys tell me what you're doing.
It should go pretty quick, honestly. I just want to make sure that I'll pull up the budget, make sure we're within budget, and it should be just a quick yay or nay vote, really.
Well, that's probably not what we're looking for. So you have a link to a PDF.
Yeah, that's it right there.
I clicked it and it wants me to do something different.
Yeah.
Oh, dang.
Can you pull it up
Oh,
on
you
share
gotta
screen?
Yeah, I don't know if I have Adobe. Let me check real quick.
Yeah, well, we see a video. Stepmom finds me. Oh, hold on.
Oh, jeez.
Let me see if I can pull it up really fast. Hold on. Otherwise, I'll have to ask him to give it to us in a different format.
What receipt is this? The comment?
For the comment.
Yeah, I gotta download. I don't have Adobe either. Oh wait, but hold on. I might have I think I have that Bear app that can do it.
Do you want me to share it?
Oh, I think this needs Adobe actually. Do you have Adobe on your computer?
I
Yeah.
do, but it won't look at it. It won't open.
Okay. Well, we can't figure it out in a minute or two.
Can you
then
screenshot it or
we can't.
screenshot the part that matters?
Yeah, it's not even pulling up. Let me see if maybe if I go to his link directly, if that downloads differently. Oh yeah, here we go. Here we go. I got it. Hold on. Oh yeah, this is super simple.
Hey, while we're waiting, something that popped in my brain earlier. It doesn't say in the knowledge base, Carlos. Do we require pips to be given in costed in Atlas or USDC?
We don't have a real. I mean, it's not a rule that is completely binding. We recommend to do it in USDC equivalent for the reasons that Signal explained earlier. That it's easier to plan and it's easier for us to adjust when once it's passed. They can do either way if it's not that important, if it's stuff that is going to stay in the ecosystem. If they do need a USDC amount, we recommend to put it in USDC, even though they're going to be paid in Atlas, it's going to help them maintain that goal.
So they will be paid in Atlas no matter what, because that's what we have.
Correct, until a
Okay.
future where we actually have inside the ecosystem fund some USDC, which is not the case yet.
All right, cool. Okay.
All right, I'm getting them. The links, yeah, it came up weird, but I've got them now. So I'm gonna plug him into that.
Oh, you are? Okay, got it.
Yeah, I'm gonna plug him into that section that you made. Give me just a second. Okay. You plug him in here. File upload. Here we go. Since downloads. Okay. It says less than a minute. Okay, they're all in there now. I'm
In
gonna
this
delete
link?
that one.
Oh, they're in the drive.
The main, yeah.
I see. Okay.
So his total request was for
Whoa.
57.75 euro. 5775.
So I see. I don't know how to read this. Is this German? Looks
Oh
German.
shit. Can you read the line items at least?
In
Oh
German?
no.
Where's Star Atlas TV when we need them?
Oh no.
Well, I'll just look at the final dollar figure, right? Five point. That's right. Europeans use point instead of that. So 5,412 euros.
Okay. 5,412.
What is Reichsbetrag? Oh my
I'm assuming
gosh.
that's after tax total.
Why don't we ask Lord AI here to translate it, also
Yeah.
known as Signal?
Yeah. All right. So let's look at the other one. Flyer alarm.
If I was
300,
at my PC, I could in like 2 seconds.
346.
I'm sitting
What?
inside a pickup truck.
That's a different word. Guess some
Well, same.
betrag.
I mean, dark room with a phone.
Oh gosh.
346.
If you post it into the chat, I'll upload it, and scan it that way.
Yeah, copy and paste if you want, and it can be translated in a second.
I feel like we should take this
I'm
offline.
on it right now. No. I need to make AI fix this for us.
373.
Something about power banks?
Power banks.
Yeah.
And
Sounds like a Star Atlas.
Is that a duplicate? That was for the same cost as that other one.
No,
The
they're
30.
similar. There's 373, 347, 346, and then the Reichsrechnung.
Okay, so our total there is 6478. And he is it looks
I don't know. There are
like
a lot of different numbers.
okay,
So
so
out of
he's
curiosity, why are we buying power banks?
I have
What's this
no
tide do?
idea.
Giveaways. These are giveaways and stuff for the comet. I don't know. I'm trying to tag Vivi to see if he can come and explain.
looks like we've got I think the
I just
total was
posted the translation.
Yeah, these are prices and stuff for raffles. So I imagine it's Star Atlas branded stuff that is available under the thing that they're getting the merchandise from.
750 5525 5525 times 1.1 Okay, so the max budget was 6077, so he's like $400 over. Yeah. Atlas buffer. Yeah, so he is actually the total amount requested was five. I don't understand why he's got two different amounts here. He's got 5525 and then 5775, but then he included a 500 euro buffer for Atlas volatility, but that was after the fact. So it's almost kind of like assuming that he's basically including the buffer automatically, when that's not really the way the pip is wrote. So we're gonna have to discuss this a little bit more, but I feel like we can cover it in the chat.
Yeah, I'm looking up the power banks now. Looks like essentially like
Portable
branded
charger.
cell phone chargers. Yeah.
Oh, did you buy multiple ones?
I'm gonna
Or
show
just
pictures.
one?
20, it
Yeah,
says.
they bought
20
20 of
pieces.
them.
Oh,
20
okay.
pieces. Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
It's
Okay.
like 20 cell phone chargers.
So they're a mix of t-shirts and chargers and little stuffs and souvenirs, and they're gonna combine it with raffles and with a gift bag, I think. I don't know, because it's 100 attendees max. So I'm not sure how they're distributing it, but
Okay. Well, we'll have to kind of hash it out, unless you guys want to stay longer, but I don't want to.
In like
assume.
another 30 seconds, I should be able to have the exact one for you. Let's see here. Got it. I think this is it. I'm highlighting it.
And here's the verbiage in the pip right here. Posted in the chat. So it says it gives a subtotal 5525, and then it says there's a 10% buffer, which is for after that 10% buffer is the way it's written, it's after the pip is paid out. If Atlas volatility, if Atlas price drops or whatever, and then they can basically resubmit, or they can request up to that 10% amount to kind of get closer to the actual.
they're making sure we can pay the whole bill.
Yeah, basically. But regardless, it's going over by $400 even after that. Even if we assume that 10% buffer is just applied automatically.
I listed them in the chat. So essentially, they're just like cool little cell phone chargers that will be branded with like Star Atlas on them.
I hope I get one.
About $20 a pop. Yeah. You better be fast. There's only 20 of them.
Oh, I'll be fast. I think we have a launch.
But yeah, so there's your invoice.
I think we're going
20
for a
little
launch.
cell phone chargers branded for Star Atlas.
I think so he was hoping to get some of that back expeditiously. Should we consider giving the amount that is that basically is the max total for the pip, which is less than what he spent, and then and then have further discussions later, or how should we process that? Or should we just figure it out first and he's just gonna have to wait?
I think it's okay waiting and just giving it to them line by line as they produce it.
I think as long as we can hash this out over the next few days in chat, then we should be good. So we all got eyes on it. We know what's going on, and then we can kind of figure out the finer details, or we can do it now. But I like I said, I don't want
What do we need to figure out, really?
So they're over budget. They're over budget by about $400.
Okay.
And the other part is that that $400 over budget is also assuming that the 10% buffer is applied, which technically that's not the way that the PIP is written. I mean, I don't want to be a hard ass about that, but that's another part of it is the way that the PIP is written. It says that that's for Atlas volatility, not like that's not for if we go over budget. Basically, it says
If they are over
I
budget.
think as long as they're still well within the 5%, but it shouldn't be that big of a deal.
I'm in support of that. I mean,
Meaning they essentially underestimated their own costs, but they're still well within the 5%. For the PIP.
Let me see what he wrote here. I wasn't Santi's gone, so I wasn't able to get him into the PIP disbursement channel. So he DM'd me, but he said, "Oh, is there another one? Shoot, is this another one?"
I do think maybe it's worth taking offline at this point, though. I think we could be here a little bit, just darting back and forth between documents.
Doesn't have to be live.
I think I just found another document. Hold on, just a second. Let me post this real quick. I think this is.
We can let the community let us know. Icy, are you getting a lot of value over watching us go back and forth about receipts?
I mean,
up spreadsheets
it's our one meeting a week, so we are allowed to do our things.
Oh yeah, this is
more than entertain, but yeah.
Shoot, he went way over, guys. It's this next one I just plugged in is 1,500 euro as well, so it's like 2,000 euro over. Unless I'm mistaken here, that's not a duplicate? Yeah, we got to kind of hash this out a little bit. I think
we need them in the conversation. Even we can do it on text.
There's one more. Just for your spreadsheet you're making there, Lancer. It's 1552 and 18. I guess whatever the penny version of a euro is. 1552.18.
So just to understand, they contacted us the other day because they were under budget, asking permission to use the remaining of the budget to get a couple extra things. And now they are over budget after we said that that's okay as long as you don't go over budget?
Pretty much.
Okay. So I personally think that if it's within a small range, it's okay, but I am not okay with authorizing more than a couple $100 difference from what was quoted. But we can speak about it with Automata with them and make sure that we have all the right facts.
Oh, to give
Well, and they just
ordered
again? This stuff too, so there might be a possibility they could refund some of it. To bring it in closer. So there's one more line item, Lancer. It's 1552.18.
Okay. And what was that one called?
Oh, geez.
Did you put it in? Oh, I see now. Yeah, I gotcha. So it's just flyer alarm. All right, I'm gonna call this one flyer alarm 4. All right, there we go. Okay. Now that we're at 8,000, so I need to go do that one again. Hold on.
Yeah.
$9,000. There you go. Here's your number.
How many euros was it again?
8,032.48.
8,032 minus. So just for a quick math. We
Those are
are
just off the receipts that you uploaded.
1554 over budget, and that is including the 10% buffer as well.
They
The
can
amount-
always time their conversion until it matches their budget. I'm not sure what we can do when it's such a big difference. That's a lot.
We just cap it at what, right? Because the PIP we'll cap it at the amount.
Well, I mean,
was-
if they could get rid of that fly 4, if they could refund that, that would be perfect. Honestly, it'd be like right there.
Or they
Okay.
can wait for a spike in Atlas and exchange then. But I don't know what to tell you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is
Okay.
probably what happened. They might have felt they were under budget with a price, and then it maybe fell a little bit from that, and now it seems that it's over budget. But there's always going to be a little bit of this.
It was independent of Atlas, so
All
the
they got
budget.
to do is hold, man. They'll be up twice as much.
Yeah.
Diamond and authors.
They said that just full disclosure, they were saying that it's kind of a lot for them to be holding. So the sooner we can figure this out, the better.
I'm in favor of the max PIP amount that was approved, minus the
that's what I was saying too.
the budget.
If we could just send
at
them
10%.
that. Okay, I'll see if they have any objections to that. If everybody here is in support, we can just send them the max PIP amount and then figure out this discrepancy of being over budget. Over time.
Yeah, to me, the PIP already talks about how if it's over budget, we're just going to cap the reimbursement at the PIP amount.
Yeah, I think we just do the PIP amount plus the 10%, which is everything they wrote in the PIP, and then, whatever comes of that 1554 or whatever, we kind of just got to figure that out after the fact. But at least we can get them, the max PIP amount, which kind of cleans our hands a little bit of, our side of the agreement.
So, it looks like they're going to have to sell some of the shirts.
So SAC2 agrees on authorizing the max PIP amount as passed, right?
Yep, I agree.
Which is less than the calculated receipts. Okay. Good to go.
Cool. Yeah, there wasn't any objections to that. On support.
Carlos, were you supportive of that?
Nope, sounds good to me.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
So heard.
Easy.
Okay, we'll conclude. And next week, come ready to fight about the funding rule, whether or not it should be based in Atlas, USDC, or both. And I'll put the link back in the chambers so that you all can see where it is.
The mic didn't pick it up, but I was cracking my fingers there for a second.
Oh, were you? Right on.
I was just.
All right. See y'all next week.
All right. See you guys.
Take care, guys.
See you, Signal.
Later, guys.
Peace.